Sure. So from school, I joined the Royal Navy, went in there, signed up in the late 80s, did marine engineering, part-time diver, stayed in the Navy for a few years. Upon leaving, I worked in the electronic manufacturing industry for a few years, and mid-90s converted my Navy diving qualifications over to commercial diving qualifications through HSE. That gave me the ability to do underwater inspection, underwater construction, on and offshore. From there, I also trained and got qualified as an AODC diving systems technician. That's Association of Offshore Diving Contractors. That allowed me to work on air and mixed gas saturation diving systems from chambers, compressors, dive panels, gauges, helmets. After that, whilst continuing to work as commercial diver, I went on and qualified as a IMCA qualified ROV pilot supervisor. From there, I got involved with submarine rescue 23 years ago, and I went on there, started off as a contractor. That was my first introduction to manned submersibles. The company offered me a position. This was with RUMIC, who are now James Fisher Defence, who are still active. And from there, I was trained up. It's roughly a 3-year program to get trained up from hatch operator in the back of the rescue submersible, which allows you to actually assist with the rescuees coming from military submarines at depth, coming into the back of the submersible, potentially at pressure. And then from there progressed up to Pilot 2, which allows you to assist the pilot with all the sonar communications, and you're also responsible for the pressurization of the rescue chamber. If the military submarine has had, for example, a pressure breach, then that would allow us to basically blow down the back of the submersible so that we could equal the pressure in our sub comparable to the military submarine. And then from there, progressed on to dry transfer pilot. That basically allowed you to control, manage, carry out the entire operation. You would be responsible for not only your second pilot, your rescue chamber operator in the back of the sub, but you would also be responsible for all the rescuees that you're bringing out from the military submarine. From there, I went on. I worked for a couple of years in Singapore for James Fisher Defence as well as a submersible pilot on their rescue system, DSAR. I joined MY Octopus, which is a civilian super yacht, and I was responsible for the underwater team on there. We had a 35-ton man sub, a 3,000-metre ROV, and a full diving spread. From there, I decided to do more inspection work, because I did inspection as part of my commercial diving background. That was physically in the water. I decided to advance those qualifications, and I went ahead and I did my CSWIP 34U, which is basically a qualification recognized worldwide that allows you to go offshore and run, assist, and plan and coordinate underwater inspection projects, whether you are tying in with the ROV superintendent or the saturation or the air diving superintendents on the vessels as well. This allowed us to do inspection of undersea pipelines, platforms, wellheads, anything subsea. The ability to do CSWIP 34U allows you to work, as I said, all over the world. You can do it inshore, offshore, and it's a recognized standard that's recognized globally. From there, I also did some trenching work as part of my ROV background. That basically allows you to, I would go out as supervisor, or I would go out as pilot or tooling tech. From there, that would allow us to actually go out, bring up subsea telecommunications cables that were damaged, fiber optic cables, bring them up to the ship. They would do repairs on them, put them back down, and with the trenching device, we could basically bury these these cables, so that they are protected from any sort of fishing or any sort of hazards on the seabed. From there, it was my wife. My wife saw an advert online for OceanGate. I was working offshore in the North Sea at the time, so when I came back, I said, why not? We'll have a look. I got in touch with them, sent my resume across, ended up getting a phone call from the Chief Operating Officer at the time, Neil McCurdy. We did a phone interview just to see where I was at, what I would be interested in doing for the organisation. The position they were looking for was a